The Nature of Personal Reality, a Seth book by Jane Roberts, read by Martin John, Chapter 8. Health, Good and Bad Thoughts, and the Birth of Demons.
Session 633, January 17, 1973, 9:14 p.m., Wednesday. Dictation.
Try a simple experiment. The results will be self-explanatory. Think of a sad event from your life. Similar feelings will soon follow, and with them memories of other such unpleasant episodes strung together through association.
Scenes,
Odors, words, perhaps half forgotten, will suddenly come upon you with new freshness. Your thoughts will activate the appropriate feelings. Beneath your awareness, however, they will also trigger the cell's ever-present memory imprints of stimuli received when those events occurred. There is, to some extent now, a cellular memory playback, and on the part of the entire body, the recognition of its state at that time. If you pursue such sorrowful thoughts persistently, you're reactivating that body condition. Think of one of the most pleasant events that ever happened to you, and the reverse will be true. But the process is the same. This time, the associated memories are pleasant, and the body changes accordingly. Remember, these mental associations are living things. They are formations of energy assembled into invisible structures through processes quite as valid and complicated as the organization of any group of cells. Comparing them with cells, they are
of briefer
duration, generally speaking, though under certain conditions this does not apply. But your thoughts form structures as real as the cells. Their composition is different in that no solidity is involved in your terms. As living cells have a structure, react to stimuli, and organize according to their own classification, so do thoughts. Thoughts thrive on association. They magnetically attract others like themselves, and like some strange microscopic animals, they repel their enemies or other thoughts that are threatening to their own survival. Using this analogy, your mental and emotional life forms a framework composed of such structures, and these act directly upon the cells of your physical body. Now let us return to Augustus, for here we find again in one individual an excellent example of the way in which seemingly non-physical thoughts and beliefs can affect and alter the corporeal image. First of all, Augustus had been told in various ways, quote, "You think too much. You should be doing something physical, involved in sports, more outgoing." Such repeated remarks, with other childhood conditions, made him afraid of his own mental activity. He also felt unworthy, so how could his thoughts be good? Feelings of violence accumulated early, but in his family there were no acceptable ways of releasing normal aggressive feelings. When these built up into felt, violent eruptions, Augustus was only the more convinced of his unacceptable nature. For some time in his normal state as a teenager, he tried harder and harder to be good. This meant the banishing of thoughts or impulses that were sexually inspired along various lines, aggressive or even just unconventional. Considerable energy was used to inhibit these portions of his inner experience. The denied mental events did not disappear, however. They increased in intensity and were kept apart from his safer usual thoughts. In such a way, Augustus actually created a mental structure whose organization followed the principles I mentioned before your break. Under other circumstances and possessing different characteristics, another individual could damage a physical organ by literally attacking it, as surely as it might be assaulted by a virus. Because of Augustus's particular temperament and nature, however, and his native, though conventionally undeveloped creativity, he formed a structure rather than destroying one. In his normal state, he accepted only the beliefs he considered were expected of him. As mentioned, there was a time before his condition developed when his good self-thoughts and his bad self-thoughts vied for his attention, and the body tried desperately to react to constant, alternating, and often contradictory concepts. What developed was a situation in which the conflicting sets of thoughts and feelings finally took turns, though Augustus maintained his own integrity for most of the time. But those beliefs that he shoved away were, by attraction, instantly seized by other mental structure,
Again,
composed of ideas and feelings combined into what you might think of as an invisible cellular organization, with all capabilities of reaction. In his normal condition, Augustus thought of his own powerlessness, for he had denied himself normal aggressive action, and felt this weak. The beliefs activated the body's cellular memory, weakening the body and impeding its function. Yet for a time, while performance was dulled, it was steady. A balance was maintained that suited its purposes. He became afraid that the body would go out of control and commit violent action, because he was, of course, aware of the strength of the denied thoughts and feelings. When a crisis situation arose, or when he became lost in despair, an acceleration began that he pretended not to notice, and Augustus too would appear. Augustus too was filled with a sense of power, because Augustus considered power wrong and set it aside from what he thought of as his normal self. Yet Augustus knew the body needed the vitality that he had denied it. Therefore enter Augustus too with his great ideas of extraordinary power, vigor, and superiority. I am keeping my Augustuses straight. I hope you are too. And with fantasies of exceptional heroism and the memories of all those denied by Augustus himself. Aggressive action, conveniently forgotten by Augustus, was now recalled with exuberant glee by Augustus too. As a result, the chemical nature of the body was instantly revitalized. Muscular tone was greatly improved. There were changes in the amount of sugar in the blood and an alteration in the flow of energy throughout the body. I knew when Rupert interviewed Augustus that the young man identified Augustus too with the left side of himself. In his normal state, that side of the body contained more tension than the right. In Augustus too, the tension found release, and the energy flow became more even after initial bursts of activity. The longer Augustus too stayed, however, the weaker his position became, a fact recognized by Augustus and Augustus too. Augustus, you see, had to build up sufficient repressed thought and emotion because of a situation which he could not cope. This threat would then bring about the emergence of Augustus too. The body behaves as you think it must behave. So Augustus and Augustus too, with their alternating patterns of behavior, cause the body to react in quite different ways. Forget now that in this case such a division occurred, and imagine instead the successive thoughts and feelings that you possess. When you feel weak, you are weak. When you feel joyful, your body benefits and becomes stronger. Augustus's case simply shows in exaggerated form the effects of your beliefs upon your physical image. If you think, then from now on I will only think good thoughts, and therefore be healthy, and inhibit my bad thoughts, or do anything at all with them but think them, then in your own way you are doing what Augustus did. He began by believing that some of his thoughts were so evil that they must somehow be made non-existent. So inhibiting what you consider as negative thoughts, or assuming that they are so terrible, is no answer. The chapter is to be called Health, Good and Bad Thoughts, and the Birth of Demons. Your beliefs about what is desirable and what is not, what is good and what is evil, cannot be divorced from the condition of your body. Your own ideas of values can help you achieve good health or bring about disease, can bring you into experience success or failure, happiness or sadness. Yet each of you will interpret that last remark in line with your own value system. You will have definite ideas about what success or failure means, or what good or evil is. Your own value system then is built up of your own beliefs about reality, and those beliefs form your experience. Suppose you believe that to be good you must try to be perfect. You may have been told or read that the Spirit is perfect, and hence thought that your duty was to reproduce that perfect spirit in flesh as best you could. To this end, you attempt to deny all imperfect thoughts and emotions. Your own negative thoughts appall you. You may believe also what I have told you, that your thoughts create your reality. So you become all the more frightened at the mental or actual expressions of an aggressive nature. You may be so concerned about hurting someone else that you hardly dare move. Trying to be perfect all the time can be far more than a nuisance. It can be disastrous because of your misunderstanding. The word perfect holds many pitfalls. In the first place, it presupposes something completed and done beyond change, and so beyond motion, further development, or creativity. The spirit is always in a state of becoming, ever-changing, supple, and in your terms without end, as it was and is without a point of beginning. Rupert said recently that if he was sure of one thing about physical reality, it was not anywhere near perfect in those terms. But in the same meaning of the word, neither is spirit, which to fulfill the requirement of perfection would have to be set in some state of completion beyond which no fulfillment or creativity was possible. Your thoughts are, you may approve or disapprove of them in the way that you think of a storm, for example. Left alone, your thoughts are as various, magnificent, trivial, frightening, or glorious as a hurricane, a flower, a flood, a toad, a raindrop, or a fog. Your thoughts are perfectly themselves. Left alone, they come and go. You, with your conscious mind, are to discriminate among those thoughts as to which ones you want to form into your system of beliefs. But in so doing, you are not to pretend blindness. You may at times wish that a rainy day were a sunny one, but you do not stand at the window and deny that the rain is falling, or that the air is cold and the sky dark. Because you accept the rain as a present reality does not mean, either, that you must believe that all days are stormy, or make that obvious misconception a part of your beliefs about reality. So you do not have to pretend that a dark thought doesn't exist. You do not have to take it as fact that all of your thoughts would be murky left alone, and try to hide them. Some people are afraid of snakes, even of the most harmless variety, and blind to their beauty and place in the universe. Some are afraid of certain thoughts, and so are oblivious to their beauty and their place in mental life. Since you have all kinds of thoughts, there are reasons for having them, as you have all kinds of geography. Within your reality, it is as foolish to deny the existence of certain thoughts as it would be, say, to pretend that deserts do not exist. In following such a course, you deny dimensions of experience and diminish your reality. This does not mean that you have to collect what you think of as negative thoughts, any more than it means that you should spend a month in a desert if you do not like them. Period. It does mean that within nature, as you understand it, nothing is meaningless or to be pretended out of existence. That will do. Now you may end the session or take a break if you prefer.